My husband's ex-wife crashed our honeymoon minus to save his life. I was exactly 36 hours into being Mrs. Daniels when a woman in a soaking wet sundress burst into our Maldives villa screaming my husband's name. David, you need to take your medication now. All. I froze with my mimosa halfway to my lips, watching the stranger drip seawater onto our honeymoon suite floor. My husband, who had been scrolling through snorkeling excursions on his iPad, looked up with an expression I'd never seen before. Tell pure terror, Vanessa. What the hell are you doing here, Vanessa? His ex-wife, the woman he'd been married to for 6 years before me, the one he rarely mentioned except to say their divorce had been complicated but amicable. She ignored me completely, marching across the room to David's suitcase. Where is your medication? You haven't answered Dr. Patel's calls in 3 days. Get out, I finally managed to say, finding my voice. This is our honeymoon. Vanessa turned to me, her eyes wild. I know exactly what this is, and I know David hasn't told you because he never tells anyone until it's too late. David stood up, his face pale. Vanessa, please no, she whirled back to him. Show her your arms, David. A heavy silence fell over the room. David looked at the floor. Show her. Vanessa's voice was steel. Slowly, David rolled up the sleeves of his linen shirt. I gasped. Cube red rashes covered both arms, spreading up toward his shoulders. It's happening again, Vanessa said. Quieter now, just like Bali. What's happening? I asked, my honeymoon bliss evaporating. David, what is she talking about? David wouldn't meet my eyes. It's nothing. A stun energy, Vanessa laughed bitterly. Is that what we're calling anaphylactic shock now? Tell her about the hospital in Bali, David. Tell her how you nearly died because you wanted to pretend you were normal for once. My stomach dropped. Hospital, David. Vanessa was digging through his suitcase now, tossing clothes onto the floor. Where's your pen, your antihistamines, your medical alert bracelet? I didn't bring them, David muttered. You what? Both Vanessa and I spoke in unison. That's when I noticed something else, spurred the slight wheeze in David's breathing that I'd attributed to our enthusiastic activities the night before. He has a severe autoimmune reaction to certain types of coral, Vanessa explained, finally acknowledging me. It starts with rashes, then respiratory distress, then his throat closes, and Bali he was underwater when it hit. I had to drag him to shore and perform Schechter until the ambulance came. I looked at my husband, Feist, the man I'd married after a whirlwind, 8-month romance, the man who'd suggested this specific resort for our honeymoon, the man who'd booked us a snorkeling excursion for tomorrow morning. You never told me, I whispered. I didn't want you to see me as broken, he said, his voice catching. I wanted one perfect week where I could be the husband you deserve. Vanessa pulled out her phone. I am calling the resort, Dr. David, sit down before you fall down. As she made the call, I noticed the tremor in her hands, the dark circles under her eyes. How did you know? I asked her. How did you know to come here? Dr. Patel called me when David missed his pre-travel consultation and stopped answering calls. I am still his emergency contact. She looked at me apologetically. I tried calling you first, but he never gave you my number. I finished, the realization dawning. Because I never knew about any of this. The resort doctor arrived within minutes, administering injections that made David's breathing ease. As color returned to his face, Vanessa stepped onto the balcony, giving us privacy. I am sorry, David said, holding my hand. I thought I could outrun it this time. I looked at his ex-wife standing alone on the balcony, staring out at the ocean, the woman who had flown halfway across the world and swam from a water taxi to our private villa because my husband was too proud to tell me the truth. Why did you divorce? I asked quietly. David's eyes filled with tears. Because she couldn't watch me keep trying to kill myself by pretending I was fine. That night, I moved David's things to a new villa while Vanessa booked herself a room at the resort. The next morning, the three of us sat awkwardly at breakfast while Vanessa showed me how to recognize the early signs of David's reactions and administer his medications. I'll be on the next flight out, she said, stirring her coffee. I just wanted to make sure. Stay, I said, surprising myself in both of them. You came all this way, and clearly I have a lot to learn about my husband. 2 days later, I watched from the beach as David and Vanessa argued intensely on the boardwalk, him gesturing at the ocean, her shaking her head firmly. He finally threw up his hands and walked back to me. What was that about? I asked. She won't let me go swimming, he grumbled. Some of the water quality report shows elevated coral spawn today. I handed him his anti-stamine pill and smiled. Good, I am keeping both of you around for a very long time.